When a young Indigenous woman returns home after 2 years, she discovers how fractured her family has become. We're talking movies. We're talking Monkeybone, starring Grace Dove, Adam Driver, and Nathaniel Arcand. Based on the novel by Eden Robinson, written by Johnny Darrell, Andrew Duncan, and Loretta Todd, who also directed. The only way to scare off a spirit is...
This movie's fucking awful. I don't have a quote because this movie's fucking awful. And are you sure it's Adam Driver and not Adam Beach?
Fuck, it is. Yeah, I was thinking of something else. It is Adam Beach, yeah.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of How'd You Like That Movie? We're going to be talking about the 2020 film Monkey Beach from up here in Canada. Clearly, Scott had a John Oliver moment because he's getting all tizzed up about the old Adam Driver over there, when in reality, it's Adam Beach, who was in The Power of the Dog, Suicide Squad, and Wind Talkers. Hey, Scott, why don't you try taking us away?
Oh, the podcast is already over? I'm like, all right, well, that's our rant for the day. Yeah, so this film.
By the way, Scott picked this film. I just really want to put a big asterisk on it. It's a Scott picked film. So
you gave me parameters. I had to pick a film on. It had to fit a certain criteria. Right?
Yeah, I picked 2 films with the same criteria, and they were not awful. So,
hey, you can only fucking, you can't. What was it? You can only swing so long without getting a strike, man. You can't hit home runs every time.
That's what she said. Anyway,
yeah, like this film, I really might need to sit back and contemplate what I watched, and I might have to do a second or maybe even a third viewing. To figure out this film, because there are things that I did appreciate on it, but I think there's a lot of choices that were made in this film that made this film an uphill battle to watch.
Or there was a lot of not choices made. I think if they would have, settled on a choice, a bit of direction, like, what's our story arc going to be? How do we want to get there? At points, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then we'd cut from a scene, and I'm like, what is going on here? Are we in the past again? Half the time, the non-linear narrative structure too, jumping in and out of the past. Sometimes I just got lost. I didn't know really where we were in the film at all. Yeah, uphill battle is an understatement.
Yeah, I had the same issues you did. Because I was trying to figure out what the message is. I don't know if this is one of those that you really need to read the book or listen to it on Audible first, because there's a lot of things that they introduce here that I have no idea what they mean. Right? I get, okay, so she can see spirits, right?
Yep.
The spirits are supposed to guide her, correct?
I guess so. I don't know if they're actually guiding her,
right? Because there's
they just some are kind of guiding her and also giving her premonitions.
Her friend, or was a cousin, the one that was dead, the ghost that was dead, she could interact and have a conversation with.
Yes.
Right, and nobody thought that was weird except for her mom. Her mom was the only one that thought it was weird. Even her aunt was like, oh, she's here, you're talking to her, what is she saying? Tell her this, tell her that.
Which is fine. I just chalked that up to Indigenous spirituality, and so I was actually fine with that aspect of it. The fact that all the older people and other people in her community are yeah. I mean, it's just something we do. Some people she says that some people are good at doing this, some are good swimmers like your brother, and some can speak with spirits. I mean, that part does not anger me or, you know, disrupt the story
Right,
narrative at
but
all.
what I'm saying is so she can have conversations, interact with the spirit.
With this one, yes.
But then there's the what do they call them, the guide spirit that would dance on her like tabletop, and then he would be like super large, then he'd be like super small.
So is that the one she fights?
No,
That's a different spirit, right? That's like the Bigfoot spirit or whatever.
I don't even know if that was the Bigfoot, like, and that's the thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I get, like, I'm not, like, I believe if you're raised in the indigenous, like, you know, background culture, like, you would know what these spirits are, right? Like, you would, like, seeing it, you would know what she would fighting, and that's the thing. I think this movie, in terms of, like you said, like some of the choices that they didn't make, I think in making such a condensed film, it didn't give enough narrative to kind of explore the world and explore the folklore. So you're kind of thrown into it, and without having that background and like really kind of trying to figure out. That's why I think maybe this would be one of the ones that, like, reading the book or something like that, and I'm sure, because, you know, the book will have a lot more narrative, that you would kind of know what is going on, and like who the older spirit she's combating with, and why is it afraid of a drum, right? Like, it kind of open it up, and, you know, that battle might have been a lot worth it, like,
Sure.
even
And I mean, so that aspect, sure, like the cultural differences, like, you know, in The Exorcist, most of us understand the dude with the white collar is a Catholic priest. You know what I mean? Like, because Catholicism is much more ingrained in like white Western culture. We're like, oh, that's Catholic priest. He's doing some God stuff. Oh, that's a cross. That's the devil. Okay. They don't have to explain it.
Fuck this.
Where in this, unless you're from one of those indigenous nations, you're sort of like at a bit of a loss culturally. You're like, I don't know this folklore. So maybe a little more explanation. But I don't even have a problem with that. Like, I could be cool.
oh my
with just,
god,
like,
what do you have a fucking problem with then?
oh, like the actual like filmmaking, like the acting. So if you've ever seen the honest trailers for The Room, there's a scene where they talk about like the unnatural reactors of the actors to a certain scene or a certain line of dialogue, right? Like, oh, really? Like that's how you're going to act to that response. So first off, the woman playing the grandma, I pretty much think they just let her deliver her lines however the fuck she wants. Like, I think the director went for a smoke and they're just like, hey, you just say this shit however you want. Doesn't matter. Because at points, she's like super happy when she's delivering like kind of lines that I'm like, there should be a little more like gravitas there. Other times they're super flat. But then even the reactions to them, it's almost like everybody was operating individually of themselves, except the uncle, the actor that played their uncle, which I think actually is
Adam Beach.
Adam Beach. He's fucking great. And the kid actors actually did a great job. But like everybody else, it was like they were all in their own fucking movie, like by themselves. They were just saying lines. It very much felt just like line delivery with no like intention behind it, no like interaction with your scene partner. It's fucking super disjointed.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
I think the things that they were trying to build to be like dramatic and like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna give a spoiler, we're gonna count to 5, and then
Don't
you
worry,
guys
nobody's watching this movie, so go ahead.
the fact that the whole time when she returned, the grandmother was dead. I'm
Yes.
like, this is some poor man's
Sixth Sense.
Because I was like, you can kind of tell, right? Like that she was
I just
dead.
found that confusing because
But then they had like the 80s, like fucking, like when you had the reveal that she was dead, and it was really, it reminded me, and this is going to sound so bad and I apologize, it reminded me of a really bad like 80s Duran Duran video where the person's in the background, and you know, and then all of a sudden they just fade away because he's brokenhearted and shit. And I'm like, oh my god. I was like, that was some bad Duran Duran shit.
This film had a very CBC vibe, Canadian Broadcast Channel vibe to it. Like those 80s and early 90s, like CBC made for TV movies, like low grade, low color graded, bad fucking acting. Like, I don't want to say the Beachcombers because I in my mind, I feel like the Beachcombers was like actually not a bad show, but it would be in the vein of like the Beachcombers. You know what I mean? Which was shot in BC, which I mean, maybe that's why I'm making that association. One thing though that I am going to bring up is like the natural beauty of Canada, whether it's the North, the West, the East Coast or whatever, is so great because it allows you to not have to spend a lot of money on real like hardcore arty cinematography.
Yeah, I was going to say
mountains and a bear and you're like, man, that's fucking good. Drone shot, boom.
Like I was gonna say like it was like in terms of the oh my god, I'm having
cinematography.
That thing. I would say it was like on par with like a Grace Zhao, right? Like No Man's Land.
Yes.
Like it was very cinematic that way, very beautiful in terms of like the locations captured. So like I said, like that made it easy to like, right? But
that's natural beauty, baby.
That's I was gonna ask you, when you're in the Navy with all your seamen.
Welcome to my new submarine lair. It's long and hard and full of semen.
Did you visit this section? Like, did you go to Monkey Beach to
monkey around? No, but we did sail up and down the West Coast and into some of the smaller inlets, and it's beautiful. Like, it is definitely the star of this movie is British Columbia. Nothing else. Like, definitely not the story. I actually want to take a look at the book because Eden Robinson, she's a Halisa and Haltsuk Nation. Those are both nations on the BC coast. The Monkey Beach actually did very well as a novel. It's won some awards. I'm assuming it's well written. But even this film swept the American Indian Film Festival. Like, it won like Best Picture, Best Director. I'm like, was it the only fucking movie there? Like, what is going on here, man?
Okay, so I will say, I like this movie because of the parameters you picked that I had to choose. I literally just Googled all those parameters, and then it gave me a list of a couple movies.
We should have just done the Fast Runner, another Inuit film. It's much better.
Well, the one I picked first, you said we could not pick because it wasn't an Italian.
You can't have an Italian director doing an indigenous film. Like,
I was like, okay. I was like, I went with it. I'm like, okay. And then this movie came up, and then under the category, it came up as epic movie.
Epic?
Now, yes, epic. Now, in terms of that Google search, I would like to see the cut of the film they watched. But yeah, I'm just like, okay. And then the whole time I'm watching it, like normally
the Monkey Beach they were referring to is actually like a Vietnam War era film about like the Battle of Monkey Beach or something like that. And you just got your fucking movies wrong, or the captioning got wrong.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, because normally like a couple of my kids were watching this with me. They came in close to the end, and even they were like having,
they're like, there are no monkeys in this fucking movie.
Well, no, they're like
monkeys.
They're like, is she go like, and that was the thing. Like, we neither one of us could figure out in terms of the climax. Did she go back in time? Did somehow whatever she ate transport her back in time? Because we thought she was going to the spirit world. We're like, boom, she's in the spirit world. But then we're like, nope, she's technically the Sasquatch she saw when she was a kid.
Yeah, so she's actually like, on two planes in her own past and present at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
which again, I think it's sort of like you were saying about like the poor man's sixth sense. It's like, hey, it's always a really cool device.
Are you going to be like, this is the poor man's Tenet?
That's exactly what I was going to
say. Fuck you. I already knew.
Except it wasn't. They weren't going backwards.
Yeah, but But yeah, like I didn't hate it as much as you did.
I thought it's so difficult it took me 2 tries. Like the movie's only an hour and 43 minutes. And this isn't even one of those things where I'm like, just make it tighter. The fucking editing is off too. And I don't mean, again, not the pacing editing, but like the shot choices, even the way that like dialogue overlaps with other stuff. Like it's a fucking mess, man. Like it's a mess. This is like something a fucking second-year film student would turn out. And this director actually has like hundreds of like, not hundreds, but like over 100 like documentaries and stuff that she's done. Like Loretta Todd is not inexperienced. Maybe she's not good at narrative. You know what I mean? Like documentary is a very different animal.
Sure. I don't know.
It's not good. It's not good.
I'm not saying it's not okay. I'm not saying it's good, right? But it's still like it has me in the middle, right? Like this isn't like oh my god, you gotta watch it. This is and it's not like fuck, like burn this thing, like find every copy, like let's fucking Atari ET this and get every copy and put it in a fucking landfill. I'm not saying that either.
Is this the worst film that we've done on this show?
No.
Give me a film that was worse.
I don't know, okay, but that's like
Cherry, maybe? No, Cherry had better cinematography.
What was the one you picked that I hated?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably a rom-com.
No,
don't like any of my rom-com picks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fucking Down with Love. Like I would watch this. I would watch this over Down with Love.
On editing alone, Down with Love is a better fucking film. Hold on, I'm gonna do my quote. Barry Hertz of the Globe and Mail. Is that a big enough fucking paper record here in Canada?
A little CanCan.
Yeah, the whole fucking thing is CanCan. Monkey Beach is not the gift the filmmakers hoped it might be. I don't know what gift they thought. Maybe he's referring to the gift that she has in the story. It should be more like Monkey Beach is not the film the filmmakers hoped it might be.
I like how you're commenting on your own fucking quote. It's like it's not even like you prepared this ahead of time. You're just like random quote, and then you're reading it for the first time, and now you're analyzing it. Like, what gift should I have read more?
Now we're gonna do a 30-minute bit as I deconstruct this quote.
You're like, wait a minute, I'm gonna read the whole article, not just the quote, right?
The beginning.
Yeah, I wouldn't like, but there's so much things that could have been so good, right? Like so many things, like in terms of dialogue that was said, like, and it was captivating, like when they are on as children, Monkey Beach with their uncles and fathers, and Adam Beach is literally like relaying what happened to him in the residential schools.
Yeah,
right?
that scene could have been so dramatic.
And they're like, okay, and they're like, the dad had to like calm him down and be like, listen, I want you to have this conversation. This is a big conversation, but they're not ready for it. Like they're too young, kind of thing, right?
Sure, but that's a perfect example of like the fucking acting was so on everybody else was so like it didn't feel responsive to what he was saying. It was like, okay, my line is, please stop talking about this thing. We will talk about it later. Like, it's like, you're right. That was like a really pivotal moment. He delivers a great performance. And it was just, everybody was like way too fucking chill. I don't know, man. This is like B movie, maybe C movie level, and not in the cool, like boobies and violence aspect. Just bad filmmaking. Bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Like, the one thing I did appreciate in terms of twist wise, since you said no one's gonna watch it, so I'm gonna do the spoiler. Wait 5 seconds.
Listen, it's got a 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, but caveat: less than 50 people have given it a rating. So there you go. There isn't even a critic's rating on this thing.
Okay, so the whole movie, it's all about like her seeing these visions, thinking she has to save her brother. And then you find out how she saved her brother. That I appreciated. It wasn't.
Did she save her brother?
Yes,
she did. Okay, he did.
Because remember, it was the thing that the uncle was telling her, right? Because he was talking about how he got arrested, like when they were kids, and he was building that mask, how he was going to get arrested, and then he got shot in the arm or something like that. And he goes, the worst part is I didn't shoot back. And she was like, why didn't you shoot back? And he goes, because I didn't have a gun. And then he was like, the minute you kill, you lose your soul.
No, I got that part.
So when
wasn't 100% sure that
when she does her, tenant, and she goes to the
boat or whatever,
to the past present, the brother was going to kill that guy.
Yep,
so
the rapist,
she stopped him from killing him. That inadvertently ends up the reason why he died, but he didn't kill him. So his soul was saved, and he could swim to the afterlife.
But he still died, right?
He still died.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It was just saving his soul.
Yeah.
Yes, she saved his soul. She didn't save him personally. That was the part I got. That
If
was
you
the
can
only
fucking
thing I
tenant
got.
around, why not just save your fucking brother? You know what I mean? Instead of worrying about his fucking soul, tenant yourself and be like, Marty McFly that shit and be like, don't do this. Don't
have sex with your mom.
Yeah, don't do that. He didn't have sex with his mom.
Come on. There's a cut of that movie where he's like, fuck it.
I mean,
he was about to disintegrate. He's like, well, this part still works. Might as well.
I gotta save myself. It's not hot tub. It's not Hot Tub Time Machine. Fucking fantastic film. Listen, man, I got nothing else. I'm not recommending this movie. Definitely, if anybody has read the book, please tweet at us.
Yes, I do want to know about the book. All right,
maybe throw that shit on Audible. Scott, are you gonna do the work? Are you gonna go watch this shit again?
Maybe I might. I actually might. Right, because like I said, there are some concepts and stuff that I kind of liked and wanted to learn more of. Right, but it might take me a couple more views, and maybe after reading the book, I might understand it more, and then just find out why she fought skeleton Raiden at the end. And why he was afraid. That's the only thing I didn't understand. Why is he afraid of the drum? Why is that drum so important? I know they explained the mask, why the mask's important, but they didn't explain the drum. And that is our wrap for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell your friends. If you want to get a hold of us, reach us at the www.howdyoulikethatmovie.com.
I could not get into this fucking movie at any point. I was just like, how much longer? How much longer? How much longer? I kept checking the running time. Just could not. At no point was I invested.
I'm not gonna lie. Coming into this, I was dreading this a lot because I really thought you were gonna be like, this was the fucking greatest movie ever.
What the fuck? We've got almost 2 years of doing podcasts together. I don't know how
exactly, because I when I'm off on a movie, you're usually like, oh my god, Scotty, let me explain.
Here, sit down, I'll explain it to you. Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.